Yin Yang Split, a feature film set in the year 2061. It begins with Sasha, a quiet, bookish college student. She is the classic nerd, glasses, awkward posture, the kind of girl who keeps her head down and hopes no one notices her. The bullies notice her anyway. Every day they push, mock, and corner her. Inside her mind, a darker force stirs, homicidal urges, a bloodlust that arrives with a rush of almost euphoric pleasure. She fights it constantly. She writes about the struggle in a private journal, describing the war as good and evil clash inside my brain. One afternoon, she leaves the journal behind in class. A classmate finds it and turns it over to the principal. Sasha is temporarily suspended and ordered into therapy. In the therapist's office, she is honest. She tells Dr. Matt everything. The bloodlust that feels like a happy trigger, the knowledge that acting on it would destroy her life, the constant internal battle between morality and impulse. The therapist listens, takes notes, and finally says, "You seem to have psychopathic tendencies." He asks whether writing in the journal keeps her calm. She answers yes. He studies her for a long moment and murmurs, "You seem to be a perfect subject." When she asks, "Subject to what?" he simply hands her a note with an address and says the man who works there is a brilliant scientist, somewhat mad perhaps, but he undertakes risky projects for the sake of discovery and the hope of curing people with her condition. Then he ends the session. Sasha goes to the address. It is a massive, privately funded research complex. She finds Lorenzo Capo. "Are you Lorenzo?" "Yes." "I was told you help people like me." "Who told you that?" "A therapist named Matt." Lorenzo's expression flickers with surprise. He invites her inside. She recounts everything she told the therapist. Lorenzo's face lights up with almost predatory excitement. "I've been looking for someone exactly like you," he says. "Research, a way to remove the hormone, the energy that drives psychopathic bloodlust. I've wanted to work with true serial offenders, Dahmer, Bundy, Gacy types, but the authorities won't allow experiments on unwilling prisoners. I need someone who already feels the uncontrollable urge, the high that comes with the thought of killing, and who still tries to fight it." Sasha is wary. She thought she was being offered medication. Lorenzo rejects the idea. Medicine is temporary. It can lead to overdose, suicidal thoughts, or simply run out. What I'm offering is permanent. We will not remove any part of your brain. We will extract the negative energy, the yin that makes a person half evil. Afterward, you will be a pacifist. You will feel enlightenment. He names the project Yin Yang Split. Sasha agrees. Lorenzo records a short consent video in which she states, of her own free will, that she is not being coerced. She steps into the laboratory and sees the futuristic tank. Lorenzo explains the process. She will wear a breathing mask while the machine performs a yin shock extraction to drawing the evil energy into a sealed pod. He warns her the procedure could be fatal, but he has done everything possible to prevent that outcome. Sasha undresses to her underwear and bra, climbs into the tank, and fits the mask. The machine activates. Bubbles and shock waves hammer her for 50 seconds. One of her eyes turns completely black, the other pure white. The black eye slowly fades to white. Then she loses consciousness. She wakes in a recovery bed. Lorenzo is there, smiling. "I think it's a success. How do you feel?" "Great, extremely peaceful and happy." To test her, he hands her a gun and asks her to shoot one of the facility's deer. Sasha aims, but the urge is gone. Something deeper, morality, holds her back. She lowers the weapon and instead pets the animal gently. Lorenzo watches, quietly triumphant. One step toward young enlightenment. For a week, Sasha lives a new life. She attends religious groups, ignores her former bullies, and helps anyone who needs it. She has never felt so content. Then, the second half of the experiment reveals itself. Back in the laboratory, the extraction pod slowly opens. Steam pours out. A naked woman steps free. The camera travels from her feet upward until it reaches her face, Sasha's face, smiling with cold delight. This is Darsha, the pure yin manifestation, every selfish, manipulative, bloodlust-driven fragment that was pulled from Sasha. The two share the same intellect, the same fighting skill, the same sharp decision-making. But Darsha has none of Sasha's patience, restraint, compassion, or kindness. They will try to destroy each other. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, each will begin to influence the other. Proof that both sides exist for a reason. A doctor enters the room, sees the open pod, and steps inside to investigate. She finds a note on the floor. Look behind you. She turns. Darsha is already there with a pair of scissors. She stabs the doctor. The scream brings a guard. He rushes in, finds the doctor dying, sets his gun down to try to stop the bleeding. Darsha slips behind him and slits his throat. The doctor's final scream dies with her as Darsha finishes the job with a point-blank thrust to the throat. Darsha takes the guard's gun and walks to Lorenzo's office. He looks up from his papers, stunned. How? Why are you here? Why are you naked? She only stares, smiling that same sinister smile. I am not Sasha. He finally notices the gun. He lunges for the alarm. Darsha fires. The first bullet clips his ear. The song Bloodthirsty by Lowell begins to play low in the background. She shoots him twice more. He collapses. She walks over, aims at his head, and pulls the trigger. Click. Empty. She finds another gun in the desk drawer, shrugs into a lab coat, and leaves the building. Outside, she hitchhikes. A middle-aged man pulls over. She smiles, says, "Yeah," and shoots him in the head. She steals his car and disappears into the night. Meanwhile, Sasha is in her college room with her childhood friends Mike and Erica, watching a horror movie. They notice the change in her. You're going to church. You cry at the gory parts. Are you a fraginist now? Sasha only says she grew out of it. Then her phone rings. The hospital. Lorenzo has listed her as his emergency contact. She races there. He's alive. Barely. He tells her everything. The evil half that killed his staff and tried to kill him. How he survived by playing dead and holding his breath until the gun clicked empty. Your yin half is loose. Later, discharged, he drives her back to the facility and explains the deeper purpose of the project. He shows her 2 lions. Lion 1, Yang, refuses to kill prey, even after 2 days of hunger. It only plays and licks the animal's face. Lion 2, Yin, attacks the moment the prey is introduced and eats without mercy. Lion 2 is the yin we extracted from Lion 1. It is life, yes, but a life that should never leave its cage. Sasha asks why he created the project at all. Silence fills the room. Then Lorenzo tells her about his older brother, Roberto. As a boy, Roberto was normal. Then the changes began. Mutilating animals, to stay calm. Holding a knife to Lorenzo's throat, just playing. Smashing walls while sobbing that he could not control it. One night, Roberto killed their parents, laughing and crying on the floor. Lorenzo hugged him before the police took him away, vowed to find a cure so no one else would suffer the same fate. Neither the victims nor the people trapped inside their own yin. We have to kill your other half before more people die. There has to be another way. Maybe we can change her. She has no yang in her. Then we isolate her. Lorenzo reluctantly agrees and gives Sasha a gun, just in case. Across town, Darsha is already inside Sasha's dorm room, dressing in leather jacket, leather pants, and black boots. Erica walks in, thinks she is seeing Sasha, and comments on the missing glasses and the sudden change of clothes. Darsha only smiles. Mike arrives a moment later, equally surprised. Hours later, the real Sasha reaches the room. She hears screaming. She throws the door open and finds Darsha,